Based on Australian Refugee Council, NSW hosts the largest number of refugee entrants that resettle in Australia with population of 5,977 on March 2020. It's not their choice to be a refugee, but being a refugee is the only option. It might be impossible to give their life back, but we can at least help breaking the barrier between us and them to ease their journey towards resettlement by connecting. The barrier is the challenge that refugee entrants need to face in their resettlement country. Differences in language, lifestyles, and culture is one of the main barriers. Once arrived in Australia, refugee entrants will be under Humanitarian Settlement Program (HSP). HSP is a program designed to help refugee entrants build skills and knowledge to become self-reliant and active in the community, which will be delivered by Settlement Services International (SSI). While HSP acts as the responder to break the barrier, SSI will be the deliverer to ensure HSP operate effectively. How can architecture help to ease their journey towards resettlement? Can architecture become the tools to break the barrier? Can architecture be the medium to connect refugees with the locals? Can refugee entrants connect in different scales? The Cocoon is a multicultural community centre that helps refugee entrants on their resettlement in Australia. It will be the medium to connect dots between newcomers, SSI, and HSP. It accommodates spaces to deliver HSP effectively. By locating most of the program under one roof, newcomers could get the best out of the program. Abstractly, the cocoon works like pupa in the cycle of butterfly. During the pupal stage, that the adult structure of the butterfly are formed while larval structures are broken down. In the cocoon, the objective is to help refugees breaking the barrier and form connection not only with one person but also in different scales, from small to medium to large to even global scale. The Cocoon is a design development that exclusively to set design standard for multicultural community center or community center, a structure that is flexible to accommodate different programs at different scale and not solely focusing on space for one function. The design standard can be built anywhere around the world, especially for countries that host resettlement program for refugee. The project is located in Waratah, a site meant for the cocoon, surrounded with green space and residential area, giving opportunity to the refugee entrants connect with the local community. An existing Hunter Multicultural Center (HMC) on the site strengthened the welcoming sense even more. As response to the research question, the program was categorized into three scales: small, medium, and large. The program was categorized by understanding the size, the frequency, and the privacy of the program. The size is the number of people involved and the scale of the activity. Frequency is the regularity of the program in the center. Privacy depends on the requirement of the program. Public spaces will have bigger doors and gates opening. The bigger the size, the bigger the opening, and the lower the frequency. The floor plan will explain how the scale change from small to medium to large, and the connection of the spaces when the doors and gates open and close. Small scale is spaces that accommodate programs that happen daily, thus it does not have the open and close function. Starting from the cafe. The cafe is located by the pedestrian side. It functions as small kiosk where pedestrians can come and have takeaway coffee. Beside the cafe is a yard where pedestrians can sit and chill while enjoying their coffee. This spaces is the coolest area in the morning as the building provides shades to it. The yard is part of the building but does not open to the inside. Next to the consultation room, it is located in between playroom and child care. The reason is to put emotional loving thoughts to the parents. Now their children can have a brighter future. The child care room functions to help mothers with babies who come to have their resettlement program. It is located beside consultation room. Mothers can nurse their baby without have to be worried. Moving to self-reflection room, which connected to the first courtyard. In this space, users can have self-reflection time with themselves and with others. This space too made for refugee entrants to perform their prayer as most of them are Muslim. In addition, the space can be open to the courtyard, allowing more space for bigger meditation activity. The men's shed is an existing building that was alienated with transition space for safety reasons. Medium scale is spaces that open and close to their connected area, which accommodate programs that happen daily but only at certain hours or weekly. The playroom is categorized as medium scale space. It has two layers of function which determine the opening and closing of the doors and gates. Layer 1 is for educational purposes. It is during that the door between playroom and educational playroom is open, allowing the space to connect with the main courtyard while closed to the playground. Layer 2 is social, where the gates connected to the playground is open and the door between playroom and educational playroom is closed. Next to playroom is educational playroom. This room focusing more on educational program for mothers and their children, while the playroom is more towards a playground setting. This room too have two layers. One is for above 8 years old and another is for below 8 years old children. During educational session for children above 8 years old, the room is open and connected to the main courtyard. At the same time, the playroom is connected to the playground and close to educational playroom and main courtyard. This is to allow the children to play without disturbing the session. For children below 8 years old educational session, the room is connected with playroom and main courtyard while having the space close to playground. Next, for medium scale space is educational area. This area is for more serious program provided for the parents such as orientation, induction, workshop, and language classes. There is two layers for this space. Layer 1 is when the room function individually and open to the main courtyard. This is to accommodate small scale of program and people. The second layer function as a hall. It is during this time the gate is open completely and connect the space to the green area on the west side and main courtyard on the inside. With the doors and gates open completely, this area can be turned into big hall or platform for performance or movie night, and people can sit on the grass to watch. Large scale is spaces that open and close to the park and have the biggest structure opening. This program happen rarely throughout the year or once a month. Large scale spaces includes community garden, which also the main courtyard that connected to all spaces in the building. There is also two layers for community garden. Layer 1 is planting and layer 2 is harvesting. Planting is categorized as educational program that only members can participate. Thus, for this layer, the courtyard is closed and not connected to the outside. For harvesting, the courtyard is open to the outside to allow public to join during harvesting and share the produce with the community. Next is community kitchen, which also have two layers of function. Layer 1 function as medium scale, where it accommodates volunteer to cook for small number of people such as new arrival of refugee entrants or cooking class. It is connected to community garden and can be open to educational area. Layer 2 is when the center hosted breakfast or lunch or dinner and bigger scale of food needed to be cooked. The kitchen is open and connected to the main courtyard and the rest of the educational area to allow more space for people to prepare and set up more area for cooking. In Malaysia, we have tradition that we call as rewang, where we gather around and sit on the floor to do food preparation for huge festival or wedding. Gathering area is the point where all doors and gates open to its max and connect all spaces with the surrounding, making it one large area. Gathering area also consists of two layers. Layer 1 is to accommodate any large-scale activity hosted by the center. Other than that, this area also allows the center to provide spaces for outside events such as wedding or business workshop. Layer 2 acts as emergency collection point. The center can be used as a place for community to get food, clean water, and clothes supply after emergency. It can accommodate medical team for minor or not too serious injury, and the green space can be used to set up temporary tent for those who got affected. The section will explain the relationship between spaces when the doors and gates open. Section AA cut through the north side of the building. It is to show the relationship between the self-reflection room and the courtyard where the users can choose to be inside or among the greens. Section BB cut through the west side of the building showing the relationship between the yard and the cafe. and also showing the relationship between child care consultation room, playroom, and playground. At the same time, it also showed the flow of the children path from playroom to playground and playground to playroom. As the building is designed to be enclosed, I elevated the structure from the ground to allow air movement into the main courtyard. Section CC cut through the south side of the building to show relationship between the playroom and educational playroom when the door is open. On the right is where the children learn, but at the same time they can have fun with playground structured room located on the left side. Section DD cut through the courtyard and the self-reflection room, showing continuity of the space from solid to green. The section also showed the relationship between the community garden or main courtyard with educational playroom and playground. It expressed fluidity of children movement from the playground to the room and to the community garden. Section EE cut through the east side of the building. This section is to show connectivity of the kitchen and the room. The flexibility that the room have allow the kitchen to have more space when needed, and another program can happen simultaneously in another two rooms. Section FF cut through the pedestrian and yard on the west side, showing smooth transition between the two spaces. The section also showed the relationship between community garden or main courtyard with the educational room and green spaces. The connectivity that the spaces have when the doors and gates open, allowing various activities such as movies and picnic to happen at the same time. Detailed sketches is the design process to develop detailed structure of the doors and gates to maximize its function on the building. At the moment, it's still in schematic phase. The opening used two different type of doors. One is sliding doors, which used in the inner area of the building, and fold-up doors for the outer area. The fold-up doors also function as gates and facades to the building. Other than having flexibility to provide maximum opening, it also provides shades from sun or rain and protection when closed. The gate is made up from two panels where it will have solid and transparent area. The transparent area representing small window that can be opened to allow ventilation when the gate is closed. Thank you.